Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Diggin' It with Richey, the VSN Volleyball Podcast. So glad you're with us, and please stick around for the next 60 minutes or so. We've got a couple of star-studded guests, some of the best veteran coaches in girls high school volleyball in the area, as well as both of these guys very hands-on with club volleyball as well. We're talking about Craig Hamner, the longtime Terrebonne head coach and Bayou Bandits co-director and coach. Well, Coach Craig's got some news. He's moving on to Covenant Christian Academy. We're going to talk to Coach Craig about that move in just a bit. And also Don Landry of AOL. Of course, Coach Don has coached for about a decade over on the West Bank and has led the Lady Penguins to some serious accolades. We're going to talk to him about that, as well as his club, Blue Crab, a very, very well-known club volleyball program in Louisiana. But as we do each and every week, we start with our club winners from this past weekend. And for the first time, we're going to start with the boys team. That's right. And speaking of Blue Crab, it's the 18U boys team. They finished second at the Gateway Classic in St. Louis, a tremendous accomplishment. Their last two qualifying tournaments also played in Chicago. This team is 17-1. If you recognize on the far right, and the Farm Bureau ad is kind of right in his grill there, but that's Bruce White. He is, you know him as a beach volleyball legend, now coaching indoor for the first time. There he is. Good look at Coach Bruce there, as well as Donald Lewandowski on the far left. They're coaching this young, talented team full of local stars. Joshua Lewandowski is right by his dad, and the first player in the top row, far left. He's an outside from Brother Martin. His older brother playing collegiately at MI2. I heard Joshua knocked out a player with one of his unbelievable spikes. Matt Wynn from John Ehret High School is the setter on that team, does a fabulous job, as does Julian Andrews from Rummel. So there's a lot of local talent on that boys team. The Blue Crab 18U boys, congratulations to them. All right, also the WD17's blue team, again, another strong finish for this squad who continues to be placing well in tournaments, this time second place in Foley at the Valentine's Classic. Cajun Elite, they had a pair of 15s have big wins this past week. Now on the left, that's Coach Adams' 15s. They finished first in Foley at that same Valentine's Classic we were talking about, WD. And on the far right, that's the 15s coached by Bo, and his team. If you look at the bottom, they've won 3 straight first-place finishes. They won the Valentine's Classic, the Governor's Cup. They didn't win the Valentine's Club. That was Classic. That was Adams' team. They just won the Governor's Cup, Blue Crab, and the Cowgirl Classic. So congratulations to all of our local winners on the club scene over the past couple weeks. So now it's time for our first guest, and it's high school volleyball. It's going to be format on this topic, and we're going to bring in from Houma, Louisiana, Craig Hamner, who a longtime Terrebonne coach. We all know him from there for the last over 2 decades, but now he's moving on to Covenant Christian Academy. Coach, what an exciting move for you at this point in your career. How is everything going? Thanks for being on the show. And man, what's the feeling inside right now as you embark on a new phase in your career?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting challenge. Covenant Christian's a Division 5. They're located here in Houma, which is right next to H.L. Bourgeois, really, right across the town from Terrebonne. And leaving Terrebonne, it's going to be kind of bittersweet. I know my retirement's coming up, and this is just a great opportunity to prolong my career.
Coach, that career, and we're going to take a look at a graphic now. Look at these numbers: 17 years, 450 wins. Terrebonne Parish, you've been coaching there for over 30 years, 23 at Terrebonne, 8 at H.L. Bourgeois. You have 7 district titles. You've been the district and the Bayou Coach of the Year, an active member of LVCA, the Coaches Association. When you look at those type numbers and you think back at the body of work, what are you most proud of what you've accomplished already to this point?
Being in the public schools in Division I, which is by far the toughest division there is, I look back and I think we had some very competitive teams. We brought girls from very low knowledge of the game, and over years we get them prepared and we try to compete at the highest level.
And you've done a fabulous job. And I remember being there with Mount Carmel last year, just looking up at some of the accolades and district championships and 30+ win seasons, and just an excellent job. What was it like to kind of teach players? Where you don't have the luxury at Terrebonne, where the Mount Carmels, the Dominicans, Ursulines, Cabrinis, where players come in already having a vast experience of playing club or travel volleyball. You're teaching the game at the very core level. What's that been like for you throughout the years?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. You get kids, you go find them on the track team, the basketball team, softball, anything you can find, just some sort of athletic ability, and you teach them. You're basically saying, hey, here's a volleyball right here, and let's see if we can teach you a few skills that we can put a team together. And then every now and then you run into a few players that have done club for a good while. Like over the last few years running it, had Isabel Bourgeois and Alasia Miller. And Alasia Miller will be coming back for her senior year after the knee injury. But you get those type athletes to kind of sprinkle in, and they help the other girls. And, athletically, we try to compete there and then teach as much of the knowledge on the run as we can.
Now, and again, if I'm mixing up a year, you correct me, but I believe you started as an assistant volleyball. Now, again, you were a four-sport athlete, letterman in baseball, basketball, football, and track, I believe. And you take over, for Coach Chip Didier after being an assistant for Coach Chip in 2010. That's filling the shoes of a legend. What did you learn from Coach Chip? And look, here's a quote that I got out of an article reference here from the Homa Daily Times, Daily Courier, I think it was. Understanding, this is what you said then, understanding our strengths and from there fix our weaknesses. Is that kind of what you learned from Coach Chip Didier?
Yes, it is. And it goes really with all athletics. Our girls, we tell them know each other's strengths, but we really got to know each other's weakness. If I'm a slow athlete, a short athlete, or just not as quick, I got to know as a teammate what I got to cover, what I got to do to help that teammate, because ultimately we're all in this together. But yeah, Coach Chip has definitely been a big mentor, friend. We have done this together for over 20 years. When I started 31 years ago, he was at H.L. Bourgeois as the volleyball coach, and I was actually the football coach back then. So that's how long we've been together. Same thing with Coach Peter Verrett. And, when I had the opportunity and I needed to step out of football because my children were playing U.S. kids golf and baseball, football was just not going to be in the cards anymore. And Coach Chip said, look, I know you're a coach, come with me. And then from then I just fell in love with the game and stayed with it.
So you said, obviously, Covenant Christian, very close to H.L. Bourgeois. So you're not moving very far in town, but you're moving as far away as you can possibly be in the other areas, right? You're going from public to private, Division I to Division V. Tell me about some of the differences and what will be different for you. And just tell me about the move in general, about going from Terrebonne to Covenant Christian.
Well, Coach Ashley has done a really good job with the girls. And I met with the team, and by talking with the girls, you realize that next year it'll be one senior and only 2 kids are playing club ball right now. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. The mindset's got to change. We got to get more involvement. They definitely got some potential, but it's going to be some young potential. But I think it's going to be a commitment when I talk to them about, I want you to play all the sports in a small school like that. We got to share athletes. And at the same time, we want to grow all girls sports, but volleyball, we want to take them to another level.
What excites you the most, or I guess what is your about this position in your career? What excites you? Because I know I could, you are as enthusiastic as a volleyball coach as I know. You have tons of passion for this sport. I can imagine you met with your players now. You can't wait to get out there. But what excites you about this new move in your career?
It's just a new challenge. It's something that I've been in Division I my entire life. I know nothing else. So Division V, I got to know the schools. It's the new players and the skill levels. The game is still the same, but the challenge of just starting something that they really haven't seen. I told them I'm going to take them places. We're going to play teams. We're going to do a lot more than Coach Ashley, who's done, like I said, done a great job, but we're even going to do more. And I'm going to give them everything if they give it back.
And Ashley Kesterson, who you referred to, been the head coach there for a while. She's staying on board as an assistant, and you also have already developing quite an impressive staff.
Right. Ashley played for us at Terrebonne back in the mid 2005-06 range, and we have been talking about this move for quite a few years now. And she wants to be able to have more time with her children, become a mom more often now. Take her little girl, Aubrey, who's in third grade now, take her softball tournaments and be the mom. So she wanted to step back, and then now I can step in, but she's going to be right alongside me the whole way.
Well, she's an excellent coach too, and you're very, very fortunate to have her. A very, very likable person as well. Just met her when she was coaching one of the Bayou area All-Stars teams a few years ago, and she'd always say, "Oh, we're just from just a little Division V, we're our little school." But man, combine her and you and your knowledge, and I mean, I would say Division V should be on notice.
I'm hoping, and I told the girls that's where we want to be. We want to get ourselves where we are noticed. People, I tell them CCA, and they go like, "What's that?" I mean, people really don't know. So we're going to put them on the map. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to have them visible. People are going to know who Covenant Christian CCA, how it goes along.
So on the flip side of that, let's talk about leaving Terrebonne, a place where obviously you have put blood, sweat, and tears into for over 2 decades. When you look back at the body of work at Terrebonne, what are you going to miss the most? What are you most proud of the program that you've developed over the last almost 20 years?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be the gym. I'll tell you, people know about our gym. It's definitely loud. It's definitely a home court advantage, but that atmosphere and being such an intimate, loud atmosphere is going to be hard to leave.
And now look, when we're looking at video of obviously the convention center where you had the 2-day tournament that VSN was fortunate enough to do last year, are you going to keep the big tournament at the Civic Center, Coach?
Yes, we are going to have it. We have the team camp July 26th, 27th. We have 58 teams right now.
Awesome.
And it's filled. And then we have 52 teams in the tournament. And last year, we had 10 JV teams, but we had so many more varsity teams wanting to jump in. We have no JV division. So it's 52 varsity teams. And we actually have a waiting list.
Wow. And I know that team camp was excellent last year. I was there firsthand as a dad, watching Mount Carmel do their thing. And, it was like a who's who of great teams. Every court you looked around, there's Danny Davis and North Shore and, the HL Bourgeois, all, local teams involved. But the tournament also brings teams from all over the state. And we certainly had a pleasure doing that. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Bayou Bandits and where that club is right now. Are you coaching any teams this year? And just tell me a little bit about Bayou Bandits and where that club is right now.
Yeah, right now we have 9 teams in the club, and I coach an 11-year-old team and also have a 14-year-old team. Bayou Bandits has always been about development, and we do cater to the public school kid more. We don't try to charge a lot of money for these kids. We try to make sure we can get them in the club because getting them to play and just some exposure, some experience, because experience is knowledge. And, these kids need to have that if they're going to make their local high school teams. We're not about one high school team. We try to get all the kids from everywhere in the Bayou area, Thibodaux and Terrebonne, Lafourche area. So we get all kind of athletes, first timers. We get some who are very good that just want to keep playing. But it's definitely a work in progress every year. We know we're not going to get, always the top kid from every high school.
We mentioned it before about being a 4-sport letterman, graduating at Vanderbilt in '87, having played football, basketball, baseball, but track stood out. And you went on to Nichols on a track scholarship. But when I look back, you still hold a javelin record at Vanderbilt, is that right? And records at Nichols too. Tell me about that.
Yeah, and like I told the girls, Kevin, I want you playing more sports until you're getting paid or scholarships, and the coach tells you, "Hey, let's narrow it down to one sport. Play everything," because you never know. I never would have thought track was going to be what gave me a college scholarship. I could have probably played 3 of the 4 sports in college, and track was just my best opportunity. It gave me a chance back then to compete against Dave Johnson, Dan O'Brien, the 2 Olympians.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, the 2 decathletes, because back then the Olympic trials were in New Orleans, so they came down. And
I remember that.
So that's what got me doing decathlon. I said, I'm going to go compete against those guys for a little while, just to have a little bit more fun. But yeah, it's, you never know what opportunities are out there for kids to get scholarships to pay for college, because it is expensive.
Man, I remember that. I was, I must have been working for HTV, speaking of Homa at the time, but because we came up there to cover that, was it City Park or Gormley and I remember a big story, was it Butch Reynolds, Ohio State? Like he had not passed a drug test or something like that. And his eligibility, like I remember the media following him over here and then, the decathlon. So I'll bet young Eric Richey saw young Craig Hamner back in 1991, 92, back then, a long time ago.
Right there.
I'm gonna have to bug Martin False or Lonnie Thibodeau to get that video. See if we can pull that out. See, because I'm sure we focused on the local guys, right? We used to do the Phil Greco show when he was the head coach of the football team. So I guarantee you, we shot video of the local players, track athletes from Nicholls State. That's good stuff.
You had some big names. Florence Griffith Joyner was down.
Oh, that's right.
You had her, and then you had Hollis Conway from Lafayette at ULL, who was the silver medalist in the high jump. Kevin Toth from McNeese at the time, who was a silver medalist in the shot put. He is probably the largest human. I watched him pull 18-wheelers on the World's Strongest Man on ESPN one day. I just turned it on. There he is.
There he is.
An 18-wheeler. I'm like, look at this guy.
Hey, look, I know you played baseball too, and your son was a good pitcher too. Tell me what was you told me recently something about I know he pursued his baseball career past high school, right?
Right. He went on to Delgado. He was one of the 2020 kids who, with the COVID. So he ended up deciding to go play at Delgado for a couple of years, and unfortunately, he had an elbow injury. He's at Nichols now, and if he was healthy, he was going to try to jump on and play with Nichols. But the injury is just too much as a pitcher in that elbow. So his career, unfortunately, is finished. But he's going to get his degree, and he's doing very well. Good.
Well, if you could describe Craig Hamner as a coach, if no one's ever seen you coach before or know anything about your background and what you stress to your players and your programs, how would you describe Craig Hamner as a volleyball coach?
I stress the fundamentals. I want the little things done right. We talked about, I'm not fortunate to have kids who have 10 years of experience. So I really stress the little things. And then the big things and the big athletic moves, those things can take care of itself. So I really think I teach the game. I try to get them to have a little knowledge and learn the game. And look, I get excited. I get excited. They get excited. We're going to have a good time. I told them I love to have fun, but at the same time, I like to work. So I think that's really what I do. I teach, and I try to teach the little things, and we'll get the big things taken care of, and wins take care of themselves.
As an observer, I can say that was an excellent description of Craig Hamner, the coach, because that's pretty much how I would put it as well. So on the way out, Coach, if you can, give us the itinerary. What does the future look like for you as you make this move as the new head volleyball coach at Covenant Christian?
Well, the next thing is we're going to start having some individual meetings with the kids, and then we'll have some little time where we can get together in the gym and start learning each other. They need to learn me. I need to learn them. We'll try to do that over the next few months. And then we'll have tryouts in May, the day after Mother's Day. All the high school teams can have their tryouts. And then we can get ready for the summer. Then we can start really building what we need for the upcoming season.
Well, I'll tell you what, we wish you the best. We're so happy for you. I know you're invigorated, but you always have that passion and experience and knowledge to pass along to those players. So props to what you've been doing already, and best of luck to the latest challenge in your career. And like I said, Division 5, take note, get ready.
Thank you, Eric.
You got it. All right, let's take our first break here on the Diggin' It podcast. We're talking volleyball. We're going to head to the West Bank. We're going to talk to Don Landry about both AOL and his club, Blue Crab. We're back after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Hogan with Farm Bureau. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Andreas Hackman with Farm Bureau. I'd like to wish all the athletes in the river parishes a safe 2022 season.
Hi, I'm Robert Palmisano with Farm Bureau. We've been protecting families for over 75 years in the river parishes. Your friends for life.
Hi, I'm Aramin Melanson with Farm Bureau, Louisiana's insurance company for home, auto, and life.
I'm Will Sermon with St. Charles St. John Parish Farm Bureau. We provide outstanding customer service. Our amazing staff and in-house claims adjusters assure that you'll be taken care of in your time of need. Real service, real people. Proudly serving Louisiana families for over 70 years.
The Sports Pub and Grill in Destrehan has it all. A great place to watch the game, daily drink specials, and you won't believe the food. From our fresh 10-ounce burgers, fully loaded baked potatoes, and great salads too, like taco salad and grilled chicken. Need something to rinse it down with? How about one of our refreshing daiquiris? A great atmosphere for the whole family. Just a few miles west of the airport. The Sports Pub and Grill, 3001 Ormond Boulevard in Destrehan. Welcome back to Diggin' It with Derek Richey, the VSN Volleyball Podcast. A lot of our coaches throughout the first 13 episodes have dabbled in coaching in both high school and in club, but maybe none so much as our next guest as we go to the West Bank and join AOL head coach and Blue Crab founder and club director, Don Landry. Coach Don, welcome to the program, and so glad to see you. I know even though the high school season's over, you're still a busy guy.
Thanks, Eric. Good to see you.
All right, let's start since we're in the club season. Let's talk about Blue Crab, and that's something I think you started back in the late 90s. Is that right? And tell us how Blue Crab, the club volleyball program, got started.
Sure. Actually, a couple of guys, myself, a guy by the name of Jamie Pitts, and another guy by the name of Brody Cardone. Us three just started to put it together. We decided we wanted to, with the advice of Danny Davis from Crescent City, we decided we were just going to try and put this club together, and we wanted to offer something on the West Bank. A lot of kids on the West Bank were not getting any attention, didn't really know the game that well, and they were going to school across the river. And your Dominicans, your Mount Carmel, and your Ursulines. And unfortunately, because they were not playing any club ball, they were getting cut from the high school teams over at those schools. And so we were looking to change that. We wanted to try and keep more kids on the West Bank. And for the most part, we've had a little bit of success with that.
Coach, you've been pretty successful, and take us through the progression. Again, you and two other guys start Blue Crab in the late 90s, but here you are, 2023, alive and doing very well. Take us through what it's been like through the last 20 plus years of Blue Crab.
It's been a tough road. We kind of, when we first got into this, I mean, we knew the game, but we didn't, the whole dynamics of the whole club scene, the traveling. It was one of my favorite stories. Our very first year, I think we had 30 something kids try out, and we were only going to keep 12 kids. And this is when Nationals was actually in NOLA at the time. I think it was the first year we were actually hosting Nationals for girls. And we put this team together, and we were traveling, from Lake Charles to Mississippi, and we were having a great deal of success. I think we won maybe 8 out of 10 tournaments. So life was good. We had one team. We were pretty much every other day or so. And parents were excited. We didn't have any issues. And so we end up qualifying for Nationals. We had an epic match. I don't know who it was against, but could have been Crew or somebody like that at the time. And we end up qualifying. So here we are playing Nationals. And we get out there our first day. We win all our matches. Parents want to take us out to dinner. We're celebrating, staying out to the wee hours of the morning, celebrating with the parents. And man, life is good. I'm thinking, this is what club volleyball is about. I'm in, I'm sold. And next day we lost all our matches. The following day, we couldn't find a parent to talk to us. At one point, they wanted to nominate us for governor of the state of Louisiana. But right after that, man, I tell you, it was, I don't think those parents even talk to me to this day.
Day 2 at Nationals, always a little tougher. Man, that's a great story. Well, tell us about the teams that you have in 2023. How many teams that you have? And tell us about some of the teams that are having success early in the club season.
Sure. We have a pretty good 14-year-old team and a pretty good 15-year-old team that's having a little bit of success right now. They're both obviously traveling teams. Matter of fact, they're going to be in Gulf Shores this weekend. Well, at least one of them. One of the teams consists of, the majority of the kids on that particular team are AOL volleyball girls. So, which I'm very fortunate to have. They have yet to win any of the big tournaments, but they're close. They've been very close. They finished, I think, runner-up or third in one of the tournaments, and they won maybe a couple of little small tournaments, but that's about it. But they're I could see the development. Obviously, we exist because we're sort of the dress rehearsal for high school, I guess you could say. Just watching the development, I tell you, it's been fun to watch. So I'm hoping in the years to come, we definitely can make a little bit of noise in the high school level.
Coach, what's been your most rewarding part of being a club director, a club coach with Blue Crab?
Oh, wow. Great friends. You make some incredible friends. Of course, you make a lot of enemies, but I've made some incredible friends. My full-time job is because of a kid that I actually coach. I became very close with the parents, and next thing I know, I'm working for them, which I have the best job in the world. So it's been very rewarding for me, I should say.
Let's take it back and kind of tell us how you got into coaching and how volleyball kind of became, the focus of your career.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I started playing I played for a club called Court Jesters, which played a couple of seasons for them. And then right after that, I kind of knew I wanted to get into coaching. As years went by, I played in a lot of adult leagues. Actually, I played with Jody from Crew, a couple other guys, and a couple other coaches. We were playing in an Elmwood league, but I don't know, just kind of felt right. I knew what I was getting into when I started to get involved in coaching. At least I felt like I knew what I was getting into. I don't know, just love watching the kids develop. it's fun. It's fun. It's the interaction with the kids, the parents, they watching them become young ladies. Of course, you become, like I said, they become like your own kids over the years, and it's I tell you, it's been an amazing experience. I wouldn't change a single thing. I can honestly tell you that.
That's awesome. And you refer to, Coach Jody playing, as a player and just some of the friends that you had throughout the years. I know Coach Lewandowski is a good friend of yours as well. And now there's a Blue Crab boys team.
Yes.
We talked about it at the onset of the show, the 18U with Coach Lewandowski's son Joshua and so many talented players. They just finished second in St. Louis. They're like 17-1. 32nd in the country in the latest AES poll. Tell me about having a Blue Crab boys team this year.
It's definitely different. It's something Donald talked me into doing. I told him I wanted to pass on it, but being Donald was an old friend of mine from the court justice days and playing in adult leagues, it seemed right. He needed my help, so I wanted to help him. He's a good guy. He actually lives pretty close to me. So I wanted to try and do what I can for him. Matter of fact, I just saw a video of his son knocking out a kid at one of the games at Nationals in St. Louis at the qualifier.
Yeah. Oh, his son's unbelievable. I know he plays a lot of beach volleyball. I've seen him and his partner, Matt Wynn, do some tremendous things, both at White Sands and Bruce White is coaching that team this year, back in the indoor for the first time in a while. But, and then the Lewandowski's older son playing it collegiately at MIT. I mean, they crush the ball, Coach.
It's scary. Sometimes I use them to scrimmage my girls, and it's definitely if you can play with them, just closely hang with them, you're a pretty good team.
That's it.
So that's the benefits I get from on both sides. So having Donald be a part of Blue Crab and having access to the boys to come, because they're always willing to come and play against us, and of course the girls love it. They're like rock stars. These boys. So I think they enjoy the attention. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about high school volleyball and the great success that you've had with AOL over the past decade. But I mean, just recently, 2019 in the quarters, 2020 made it to the semis, losing to St. Thomas More, 2021 in the quarters, 2022 last year in the quarters, losing to Turlings Catholic. So Division II loaded, as you are well aware, but you continue to have success at AOL, a beautiful campus, beautiful school in the West Bank, right next to Shaw over there. Just tell me what it's been like with AOL and the great winning tradition that you have built at that program.
Yeah, it's funny. I had no clue of this. My principal told me a while back. She says, when you first came here, you were 23rd in the Pablo rankings. And I really didn't know where we were in the Pablo rankings at the time. But we've been consistently in the top 8 for the past 5-6 years, 7, probably about 7 years now. We just, I believe in hard work. It's something my parents have always taught me. My dad always would say, nothing good ever happens by accident, son. You got to get out there and work for it. It's just that simple. I have some incredible assistant coaches, Caitlin DeLon, Cam Lieber, with their help. And of course I have Ken Maricoli there, who's a volleyball guy, who's my athletic director, who always lets me know when I'm doing something, the way he doesn't feel is the right way. And I got an incredible principal. She's been very supportive. I love, when my ego gets here, I just walk in her office and she brings me all the way down to earth. So it's a great fit. I am very fortunate to be there. I love my school. It's a funny story. I did not want to coach high school volleyball. Did not. When I got offered the job, the athletic director, Scott Walker, at the time. Well, he wasn't the AD, but he was actually the ambassador to the school, the liaison to the school, and his job was to recruit coaches to get them at the school. And I said no. I kept telling him no, and I want to coach high school. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Well, if you ask me today if I would give up my coaching job in a high school level, I'll tell you absolutely not. I'll give up my club before I give up my high school job. So that's how much. That's how I love the pride. You know, it's like football. You know, at the boys' school. You know, it's become the one of the big sports in our school. Game days. You know, to see the student body in the stands. It's something. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Watching. You know, the whole tradition. The kids will sing the alma mater after every match. You know, we pray before every game. We pray after every game. It's just an incredible feeling. You know, our girls go to church on Sundays together. We try and do as much community service together. You know, it's. I can honestly say that it's definitely a family type atmosphere.
Well, you've done a fabulous job with it. And again, I'll echo the sentiments I referred to earlier. The campus is beautiful. You got a great gym. My daughter Emma played softball as well. We played softball at your beautiful facility right next to the gym. I mean, it's first class all the way. It's really, really well done, and you guys do a terrific job. Hey, Coach, tell me about some of your top players coming back and kind of preview the 2023 AOL volleyball team for us.
Sure. I got a young we have a sophomore, Adeline Creeth. A middle, Cassidy Jones, who is also a sophomore. She's a pretty big kid. Those are sophomores
currently, or they'll be juniors next year?
No, they'll be sophomores. They're freshmen now.
So they're freshmen now. Wow. Yeah. So two rising sophomores that have already had some significant varsity experience.
Yes, and the thing that I love the most is that their parents or their siblings are athletic. So these girls are very athletic. For example, Cassidy Jones's brother is it Debo Jones, the linebacker for the Browns, who played for the Falcons. He got traded to the Browns. I have her. I got Addie Creeth, whose dad, Chris Creeth, was a superstar at Archbishop Shaw High School back in the day. I remember watching him play. Yeah. I got we got a sophomore, another sophomore, Lil Davis, who is, I tell you, outstanding athlete. And then we got a couple of seniors that actually hoping that they can make a little noise also. We have Abby Call, who's we had an 8th grade setter last year.
I didn't know that. She'll be a freshman setter for you with
a freshman setter.
A year varsity experience under her belt. That's impressive.
Yeah, and we have a sister, Emma Call, who is who's really done an outstanding job defensively. Ella Treadway, she's going to be a senior. She's outstanding player. So the future looks bright. You know, we still kind of waiting to see, you know, what's going to happen.
Just the players you just mentioned. Yeah, the players you just mentioned right there. You're gonna have another successful season. It's gonna be fun watching you. Coach, you told us about, you know, you pray before the games, you do the alma mater to the student section and the parents and the crowd after a match. What's the most rewarding part of coaching for you? And you just said, you know, you love your job now. Coaching, you know, 10 years ago, you weren't sure if you wanted to be a high school volleyball coach. And look at you now, what you've developed. What are you most proud of, or what do you love the most about it?
Oh, I love the strategizing. I love watching them succeed. The girls. I love the life lessons that actually come with the game. I know it's always difficult when you lose, but to watch them win, and especially, you know, when we play our rival is Belchase High School. Or watching them, you know, go far into the state playoffs, it's like no other feeling. I can only imagine, you know, what it's going to be like, you know, if we can ever achieve that you know, that state championship. My daughter has won a state championship playing volleyball for Greg Castillo, so every year she reminds me how she's won a state championship. So
she's one volleyball. Up on you.
Oh yeah.
Well, look, you've made some deep runs in the last 5 years, and it has been fun watching you. And again, you got buzzsaws in Division II with St. Thomas More, Turling's Catholic. But look, they, you can only have AC Freilich and those two other big 6-foot hitters for so long. Everybody's got to reload now, right? So, hey, let's see what happens in Division II this year. I guess if you can, just tell us what you want us to know about both Blue Crab, kind of like your goals there. And you talked about, there you're teaching a lot, right? Getting those girls ready to make a run at playing high school varsity volleyball. So tell us what you want people to know about Blue Crab, and then about what you want them to know about AOL.
Sure. Develop. Our goal is to develop volleyball players. We want to, obviously we want them all to get volleyball scholarships, and unfortunately that doesn't always happen, but to develop them into young ladies, develop them into life lessons, teaching them life lessons, I should say. Just work hard. That's the thing. Not taking things for granted. That's always been my thing. You gotta push yourself. You cannot sit back and it's not going to ever happen by doing less work, or you gotta push hard. I mean, that's the key. The more hours you put in, I've always felt that you'll get what you want. As a Kobe Bryant, I think I was watching a story about him, and just recently it was on YouTube, and I think they asked him what was the longest amount of time he has practiced, and it was 14 hours. That one of his teammates confirmed that he actually was in the gym for 14 hours practicing. Obviously, I know it's basically impossible to get my girls to go in there for 14 hours, but we're gonna work longer, harder this year, hopefully to get that to get that goal, to try and achieve more volleyball players, get more girls involved. That's what we're trying to do with the club scene. And as far as the high school scene, just pushing ourselves to that next level, getting past Turling, St. Thomas More, which is, it's been a very difficult task, obviously, but we're just going to keep working at it. Hopefully, I can only pray that we get there. St. Rita is the patron saint of impossible, so I've been praying to her every day. And coincidentally, my high school girls pray to him too. So we're hoping St. Rita can help us get there. So a little divine intervention there. So
well, whatever it takes, Coach. It's been a thrill watching you the last couple of years that VSN has been around, and we've been able to follow you, and now in the club scene as well. Thank you so much for your time this morning and being on the show. And man, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. And you just let us know anytime that Blue Crab, one of your teams, those 14s and 15s real talent squad, any of those squads, they do something that needs to be highlighted, you just let us know and we'll make sure that we do it. But best of luck to you moving forward.
Thanks, Eric. I really do appreciate you. Thank
you. Got it. You got it. All right. Time for another break here on Diggin' It. When we return, we're going to tell you what's coming up on VSN over the next couple days. We've got a lot of things live streaming. So this time out, again, the show brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, St. John, St. Charles Parish, as well as the Sports Pub and Grill Industry.
Hi, I'm Chris Hogan with Farm Bureau. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Andreas Hackman with Farm Bureau. I'd like to wish all the athletes in the river parishes a safe 2022 season.
Hi, I'm Robert Palmisano with Farm Bureau. We've been protecting families for over 75 years in the river parishes. Your friends for life.
Hi, I'm Aramin Melanson with Farm Bureau, Louisiana's insurance company for home, auto, and life.
I'm Will Sermon with St. Charles St. John Parish Farm Bureau. We provide outstanding customer service. Our amazing staff and in-house claims adjusters assure that you'll be taken care of in your time of need. Real service, real people. Proudly serving Louisiana families for over 70 years.
The Sports Pub and Grill in Destrehan has it all. A great place to watch the game, daily drink specials, and you won't believe the food. From our fresh 10-ounce burgers, fully loaded baked potatoes, and great salads too, like taco salad and grilled chicken. Need something to rinse it down with? How about one of our refreshing daiquiris? A great atmosphere for the whole family. Just a few miles west of the airport. The Sports Pub and Grill, 3001 Ormond Boulevard in Destrehan. Time to wrap up this edition of Diggin' It with what's coming up live streaming on VSN. We've got a couple of double headers, if you will, to talk about. First, in high school soccer, it's Newman. Both the girls and boys team will be in action on Friday night, 4:30 p.m. The 23rd ranked North Lake Christian girls do battle with number 6 ranked Newman in the Division 4 semifinals. Then at the same place, just a couple hours later, 7:30, it'll be Episcopal at Newman. They're the number 1 seed in Division 4, again, playing for the right to advance to the state championship. Then on Saturday, Loyola, that's right, Wolfpack men's and women's basketball at noon. The 9th-ranked Loyola Wolfpack will take on Life University. Then at 2 p.m., the same two schools will duke it out on the men's side. The Loyola men ranked 14th in the country. Hard to imagine a program in NAIA in the country with a better men's and women's combo basketball team than Loyola. Hey, that'll do it for this edition of Diggin' It. Want to thank our guest, Craig Hamner, and as well as Don Landry. Our director is Justin Thomas. I'm Eric Richey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again real soon.